Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you today about something that affects each and every one of us. Whether you're in school, working, raising a family, or pursuing your dreams, there's one thing that stands between you and your success, and that is the battle within your mind. You see, life isn't about the obstacles we face, it's about how we respond to those obstacles. It's not the mountains that block our path, it's how we perceive those mountains that determine whether we climb them or let them defeat us. And what's often the hardest part of that journey is not the physical struggle, but the mental one. The fight is in the mind. Your mind is more powerful than any muscle in your body. Your mind is what will either lift you up to your greatest potential or hold you back from your destiny. And every day you are in a battle, whether you realize it or not. The question is, how are you going to fight? The fight is in the mind. That's where every challenge, every setback, every failure begins. It starts up here with the thoughts that you entertain and the beliefs you hold about yourself. If you think you're defeated, if you think you're not good enough, if you believe your past is too much of a weight to carry, then the battle is already lost. But if you take control of your mind, if you refuse to let negative thoughts dictate your destiny, then you're halfway to winning the fight before it even begins. There are days when you feel like giving up, you feel tired, you feel frustrated, you might even feel hopeless. Life will knock you down. That's a given. But what you have to remember is that the fight when you fall, the fight ends when you stop getting up. The fight is in the mind. And if you can change your mind, you can change your life. You can change the way you see the challenges ahead. You can change the way you approach every obstacle, every setback, and every failure. So when life punches you in the face, and it will ask yourself this question, what will I do with this? Because every setback is an opportunity to come back stronger. Every failure is a lesson on how to succeed. But it's only through the fight in your mind that you'll recognize these opportunities and lessons. The mind is where the game is played. And if you want to win in life, you have to control your thoughts. You have to understand that your mind is constantly working against you. It will feed you excuses. It will tell you that you're not capable. It will remind you of all the times you failed before. But you have to remind yourself of one thing: you are not your failures. You are not your past. Your future is not determined by what happened yesterday or the day before or the day before that. Your future is determined by what you choose to believe today. Do you believe that you are capable of achieving great things? Do you believe that you have the strength to overcome your obstacles? Do you believe that you are worthy of success, of happiness, of peace? If you do, then your mind becomes your greatest ally. If you don't, your mind will be your greatest enemy. Listen, no one gets to the top of the mountain without some struggle. There will be days when it feels like you're climbing uphill and the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But the fight isn't about the weight. The fight is in how you carry it. If you let your thoughts drag you down, if you let negativity consume you, then you will never reach the summit. But if you find the strength to keep going, if you refuse to quit, if you fight for every step, then you'll make it to the top. And when you do, you'll realize that the view from the top isn't just a reward for your hard work. It's a reminder of the battle you fought in your mind to get there. It's not enough to simply want success. Wanting is not enough. You must fight for it. And that fight starts right here between your ears. Every time you think about quitting, every time doubt creeps in, every time fear tries to take control, you need to remember that your mind is the battlefield. You must make a conscious decision to win that battle. I know there are moments when it feels like everything is working against you. Maybe you've been through hardships. Maybe you've lost something or someone important to you. Maybe you've been told you're not good enough or that you'll never make it. But I need you to hear me clearly right now. Your past does not define you. The opinions of others do not define you. Only you have the power to define yourself. You are not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of your choices, your beliefs, and your mindset. The mind is the most powerful tool you have. It's more powerful than any physical strength, any resource, or any skill. Your mind determines your direction. And when you focus your mind on success, on growth, on overcoming, you will see the world open up before you. But that focus won't come easily. It requires discipline. It requires commitment. It requires the mental toughness to push through the days when everything seems impossible. Every time you face an obstacle, every time you feel like you can't go on, you have a choice. You can either let that obstacle defeat you, or you can let it sharpen you. You can either let it break you, or you can let it build you, and that choice begins in your mind. I'm not saying the road will be easy. I'm not saying it will always be clear. But I am saying this: if you can train your mind to believe that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you have what it takes, then the world will have no choice but to follow your lead. But that belief doesn't come from anyone else. It doesn't come from the applause of others or the validation from the world. It comes from you. It comes from the inner strength you build when you choose to fight for your own greatness. And here's the truth: there will always be setbacks. There will always be moments when you fail, when you fall short, when it feels like you can't catch a break. But if you don't quit, if you keep going, if you keep fighting, you will get stronger. You will grow. And one day you will look back on all the struggles and realize that they were the very things that made you who you are. The mind is where all progress begins. Everything you want in life starts with a thought. Everything you have, everything you've achieved, it all started with a decision in your mind. But the mind is also where your self-doubt will creep in, where fear will try to take hold. You have to decide right now that you will not let those thoughts define you. You have to make a choice to rise above them. You have to fight for the thoughts that serve you, not the ones that hold you back. You can't let your mind be a prison. You have to break free from the limitations that it imposes. And the only way to do that is through discipline, through perseverance, and through a commitment to fighting for your own success. Every day you have to remind yourself that you are capable. Every day you have to remind yourself that you are worthy. Every day you have to remind yourself that the fight is not out there, it's in here, in your mind. The fight will not always be easy. It will not always be pretty, but it will always be worth it. The fight is in the mind. And if you win that battle, you will win in life. So make a decision today. Choose to believe in yourself. Choose to fight for your dreams. Choose to keep going when everything tells you to quit. Because as long as you don't give up, as long as you continue to fight, your victory is inevitable. The fight is in the mind. And the mind is where all things are possible. Keep fighting. Keep believing. And never ever stop. The mind is the most powerful tool you have. Your thoughts, beliefs, and mindsets shape your actions and determine your success. The fight is not against external obstacles, but the internal struggle and how you perceive and react to challenges. Success is not about avoiding setbacks or hardships, but about building mental resilience to persevere through adversity. The ability to keep going despite failure or difficulty is what ultimately leads to triumph. Self-doubt and negative thoughts are natural, but they do not define you. You must fight against these limiting beliefs and replace them with thoughts of confidence, strength, and possibility. Your future is determined by what you choose to believe today. Achieving success requires consistent mental discipline and commitment. It's about making the daily choice to believe in your potential, stay focused, and keep pushing forward even when the path gets tough. How you view obstacles, whether as barriers or opportunities, greatly impacts your ability to succeed. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow, learn, and come back stronger. Changing your mindset transforms your approach to life's struggles. The power of the mind is immeasurable, and often it's the most overlooked tool in our pursuit of success and happiness. It shapes the way we perceive the world, how we interact with it, and ultimately, the life we create for ourselves. Many people underestimate the role that the mind plays in their day-to-day lives, but it is the mind that determines the course of our actions, influences our emotions, and governs our decisions. Everything begins with thought. From the smallest choices we make to the largest, most life-altering decisions, they all start with what we believe in our minds. And that is why the power of the mind should never be underestimated. What you think about, how you think about it, and what you believe about yourself and the world around you can either propel you forward or keep you stuck in place. The way you think shapes the way you act, and those actions eventually define who you are. Every day your mind is filled with thoughts, some positive, some negative. And it's up to you to decide which thoughts you will entertain and which you will dismiss. The most successful people in the world are not necessarily the most talented or the most capable, but the ones who have mastered their minds. They have learned how to control their thoughts and direct their focus on what matters most to them. They understand that their success begins not with their actions, but with their mindset. The mind is a powerful force because it has the ability to shape reality. Thoughts precede actions, and actions precede outcomes. If you can control your thoughts, you can control your actions. If you can control your actions, you can control your results. So when life feels overwhelming or when the path forward seems unclear, it is essential to remember that everything begins with how you choose to think. In fact, the way you think often defines the way you feel. Our emotions are often a reflection of our thoughts. If you are constantly thinking about problems, failures, or obstacles, you will feel stressed, anxious, and defeated. But if you focus on the opportunities, the lessons, and the potential for growth, you will feel motivated, empowered, and ready to face whatever challenges come your way. But the power of the mind goes beyond just thinking positive thoughts. It's about understanding how to control your thoughts in a way that serves you. It's about recognizing the patterns of thinking that keep you stuck and learning how to replace them with thoughts that will push you forward. For many of us, the mind is a battleground. Every day we battle negative thoughts, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs. It is easy to believe that we are incapable of achieving our dreams when the mind constantly tells us that we are not good enough, not smart enough, or not worthy. These thoughts are natural, but they do not define us unless we allow them to. And the key to transforming your life is learning to control what you allow your mind to focus on. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you can control how you respond to it. When life throws challenges your way, your response is determined by the strength of your mind. It is your mind that will either allow you to rise above the challenge or give into it. One of the most powerful aspects of the mind is its ability to reframe situations. When faced with a challenge, the way you frame that challenge in your mind determines how you will experience it. If you view a setback as a failure, then that is exactly what it will feel like. But if you view that same setback as a lesson, as an opportunity for growth, then you are more likely to move through it with a sense of purpose and determination. The mind has the ability to reframe failure into success and pain into progress. This is why mindset is so crucial, because what you believe about a situation will shape your emotional response to it. If you believe that every setback is a failure, then you will approach life with fear and hesitation. But if you believe that every setback is a stepping stone to something greater, you will approach life with confidence and courage. And this mindset, this ability to reframe your reality, is what enables you to turn your struggles into triumphs. Another reason the mind is so powerful is that it is capable of creating habits and routines. Our behaviors are largely driven by our subconscious thoughts. We can think we are conscious and in control, but much of what we do is habitual. This is both a blessing and a curse. On the one hand, our ability to form habits allows us to be efficient in our daily routines. On the other hand, the negative habits we form based on negative thought patterns can keep us stuck in a cycle of self-sabotage. The good news is that habits can be changed, and it starts with changing the way you think. If you can learn to control the thoughts that shape your actions, you can reshape your habits and change your life. The power of the mind also lies in its ability to visualize success. Visualization is a technique used by athletes, successful entrepreneurs, and high achievers in every field. It is the practice of vividly imagining yourself succeeding, performing well, or achieving your goals. When you visualize success, you are programming your mind to believe that success is not only possible but inevitable. Your mind does not distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. When you visualize yourself succeeding, your brain starts to wire itself for success. The mind creates neural pathways that reinforce the belief that you are capable of achieving whatever you set your sights on. Visualization allows you to mentally rehearse success, and this mental rehearsal primes your mind for real-world action. This is the reason why mindset is often the deciding factor between those who succeed and those who fail. People who succeed are not necessarily more talented or more fortunate. They simply have a belief in their own ability to succeed. They have trained their minds to think in ways that align with their goals. They have learned how to shift their focus from problems to solutions, from limitations to opportunities, and from fear to confidence. It is this mindset that gives them the resilience to keep going when others would quit. It's the belief in their own strength and potential that propels them forward, even when the world tells them they should give up. But in order to tap into the true power of the mind, you must be willing to do the work. Mindset isn't something that changes overnight. It requires discipline, commitment, and a willingness to push through discomfort. You will have moments of doubt, moments when it feels like nothing is going your way. But it is in those moments that the strength of your mind matters most. The mind is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. If you continually feed your mind with positive, empowering thoughts, it becomes easier to shift your perspective and embrace challenges with a sense of purpose and determination. The power of the mind also lies in its ability to influence your physical health. There is an undeniable connection between the mind and the body. Studies have shown that the thoughts we think can impact our physical health, for better or for worse. Stress, anxiety, and negative thinking can manifest physically in the form of illness, fatigue, and pain. But positive thinking, optimism, and a strong, focused mind can lead to better health outcomes, more energy, and a greater sense of well-being. Your mind has the power to influence not just your emotional state, but your physical state as well. That is how powerful it is. At the same time, it's important to recognize that the power of the mind is not about forcing positivity or pretending that life is perfect. It's about acknowledging your feelings, understanding your emotions, and using your mind to move through them rather than being overwhelmed by them. The power of the mind is not about denying your challenges, but about acknowledging them and choosing to believe that you are capable of overcoming them. It's about developing a mindset that embraces growth, that sees every challenge as an opportunity for learning, and that understands that you have everything within you to rise above whatever life throws your way. In the end, the power of the mind is the most important tool you have. It is the key to unlocking your full potential, the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And when you learn to harness that power, when you learn to control your thoughts and shape your mindset, there is nothing you cannot accomplish. The fight is in the mind. And the mind, when used to its fullest, can achieve extraordinary things. Mental resilience and toughness are two of the most important qualities one can develop in life. They form the foundation of our ability to overcome obstacles, handle adversity, and thrive in the face of challenges. While physical strength is often emphasized in the world, it is mental resilience that enables a person to endure hardships, persist when the going gets tough, and ultimately achieve success. It's not the size of the obstacles we face, but how we respond to them that makes all the difference. At its core, mental resilience is about having the ability to recover quickly from difficulties, to bounce back from setbacks, and to maintain a positive outlook even when things seem bleak. It's the capacity to adapt to change, handle stress, and continue moving forward despite hardships. Mental toughness, on the other hand, is the strength of character that allows you to remain focused, stay motivated, and push through challenges when the situation demands it. Together, resilience and toughness, the bedrock of success, whether you're pursuing personal goals, navigating career challenges, or dealing with life's inevitable struggles. One of the defining aspects of mental resilience is the ability to endure suffering or hardship without letting it define you. Life is filled with unexpected challenges, and no one is exempt from pain, loss, or adversity. These experiences may test your patience, your endurance, and your belief in yourself. However, the difference between those who succumb to adversity and those who rise above it lies in the way we choose to respond. Resilient individuals do not allow their difficulties to become their identity. Instead, they view challenges as temporary obstacles that can be overcome. This ability to detach your identity from your circumstances is a key component of mental resilience. It allows you to maintain a sense of self-worth and to keep going even when external circumstances are not in your favor. One of the reasons mental resilience is so crucial is that it enables you to maintain focus and clarity during times of stress. When life gets difficult, it's easy to get caught up in the emotional turbulence of the situation. Fear, anger, frustration, and sadness can cloud your judgment and cause you to lose sight of your goals. However, resilient individuals are able to take a step back, calm their minds, and think logically about the situation. They know that their emotions, while valid, do not have to dictate their actions. Instead, they rely on their mental toughness to stay focused on what is important. This clarity of thought helps them make better decisions and take more deliberate actions, even in the midst of chaos. Mental toughness is often built through experience, particularly through facing adversity head-on. The more difficult situations you encounter and the more challenges you overcome, the stronger your mental toughness becomes. However, it is not just about surviving tough situations, it's about learning and growing from them. Each challenge, every setback, and every failure carries with it an opportunity for growth. When you face a difficult situation, you are presented with a choice. You can either let it defeat you, or you can use it as a stepping stone to develop greater resilience and toughness. The process of reflection, learning, and evolving after adversity is what leads to the development of a tough and resilient mindset. One of the key traits of mentally tough individuals is their ability to keep a long-term perspective. It's easy to become overwhelmed by short-term problems or to get bogged down in the difficulties of the present moment. In these times, it's essential to step back and remember the bigger picture. Mental resilience allows you to stay grounded in the knowledge that hardship is often temporary. The challenges you face today do not define the rest of your life. Tough individuals understand that they are on a journey, and every setback is just one part of a much larger story. They keep their eyes on the future, trusting that their efforts will pay off in the end. Resilient people also develop the ability to reframe negative situations in a way that allows them to find meaning or purpose in them. When something goes wrong, it's natural to feel disappointed or discouraged. But resilient individuals don't allow themselves to stay stuck in negative emotions. Instead, they look for the lesson in the experience. They ask themselves questions like, what can I learn from this? Or how can this situation help me grow? This ability to reframe challenges as opportunities for learning is a powerful tool for building mental toughness. It helps you to see every setback not as a failure, but as a valuable experience that adds to your growth and development. Another important aspect of mental resilience and toughness is the ability to maintain a sense of control. When faced with difficult situations, it's easy to feel helpless or powerless. You may feel like everything is spinning out of control and that there's nothing you can do to change your circumstances. However, mentally tough individuals understand that while they may not be able to control everything that happens to them, they can always control how they respond. They focus on the things they can control, such as their attitude, their actions, and their mindset, and refuse to let circumstances dictate their emotional state. This sense of control is empowering and allows them to maintain their focus no matter what challenges come their way. In addition to this inner control, mental resilience is also about building the capacity to persevere even when the path is unclear. There will be times in life when the future seems uncertain, when you don't know how things will work out, or when the road ahead feels long and difficult. In these moments, it's essential to rely on your mental toughness to keep going, even without a clear roadmap. Mentally tough individuals understand that success is rarely a straight line. There are often detours, setbacks, and obstacles along the way. What matters is not how many times you are knocked down, but how many times you get back up. Each time you face a challenge, you build more resilience and develop a stronger sense of perseverance. The importance of mental resilience and toughness is also evident in how they affect your ability to maintain relationships and work effectively with others. Life is full of interpersonal challenges, conflicts, misunderstandings, and disappointments. These challenges can take a toll on your emotional well-being if you're not mentally prepared to handle them. Resilient individuals are able to maintain emotional stability in the face of relationship challenges. They don't let disagreements or conflicts shake their sense of self-worth or cause them to react impulsively. Instead, they use their emotional intelligence to navigate the situation calmly and thoughtfully. This allows them to build stronger, more positive relationships with others, which is essential for personal and professional success. Mental resilience also helps in managing failure. Failure is a natural part of life, and everyone will experience it at some point. It's not the failure itself that defines you, but how you respond to it. Mentally tough individuals are able to accept failure as a part of the process and use it as fuel for their growth. They understand that failure is not the end, but rather a stepping stone to success. They are not afraid of failing because they know that failure is simply feedback, an opportunity to learn and improve. This mindset allows them to keep pushing forward even when things don't go as planned. They never let failure define them. Instead, they define themselves by how they rise after falling. Building mental resilience and toughness requires intentional practice. It's not something that happens overnight, and it's not something you can simply wish for. Like physical strength, it requires consistent effort, practice, and a willingness to step outside of your comfort zone. You must intentionally put yourself in situations that challenge you, that stretch your limits, and that test your resolve. Over time, you will develop a stronger sense of resilience, and your mental toughness will become a natural part of who you are. You will no longer be the person who shrinks in the face of adversity, but the person who rises to the challenge, no matter how difficult it may be. Ultimately, mental resilience and toughness are about mindset. They are about choosing to view challenges as opportunities for growth, choosing to keep going when others might quit, and choosing to believe in your own strength even when the world around you seems to be falling apart. Life is full of obstacles, but it's not the obstacles that matter, it's how you face them. It's the strength of your mind, your heart, and your spirit that will determine your success. When you develop true mental resilience and toughness, you will be able to face anything that comes your way with the unwavering belief that you have what it takes to overcome it. Self-doubt is a universal experience that affects us all at different points in our lives. It is that nagging feeling of uncertainty that creeps into our thoughts and tells us we're not good enough, capable enough, or worthy enough. Whether it's the fear of failure, the fear of being judged, or the fear of disappointing ourselves or others, self-doubt can be a powerful force that holds us back from reaching our full potential. But here's the truth, self-doubt does not define you. It does not have to control your life. It can be overcome. And doing so is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. One of the first steps in overcoming self-doubt is recognizing that it is not an indication of your true worth. It's easy to think that feeling self-doubt means we are not capable or deserving, but this is simply not the case. Everyone experiences doubt, even those who seem to be the most confident or successful. Self-doubt is a natural part of being human, but it is not a reflection of your ability or potential. The key is to recognize that self-doubt is just a feeling, a passing thought or emotion that doesn't need to dictate your actions. It is not a permanent state, and it does not have to prevent you from moving forward. The next step in overcoming self-doubt is to challenge the thoughts and beliefs that fuel it. Self-doubt often stems from negative thinking patterns or limiting beliefs we've held about ourselves for years. We may have internalized the opinions of others, or we may have learned to doubt ourselves through past experiences or failures. These negative beliefs become ingrained in our minds. And when we face new challenges or opportunities, they resurface and whisper in our ears, "You're not good enough, you can't do this, or what if you fail?" But in reality, these thoughts are just stories we tell ourselves, stories that are often inaccurate and untrue. In order to overcome self-doubt, we must challenge these stories and replace them with more empowering and realistic beliefs. When those negative thoughts arise, we can ask ourselves, is this thought based on facts, or is it just my fear speaking? We can remind ourselves of past successes, strengths, and capabilities. We can choose to believe in our potential, rather than in the limiting beliefs that have held us back. Another crucial step in overcoming self-doubt is taking action despite it. The longer we allow self-doubt to control us, the more power it has over our lives. We may delay taking risks, pursuing our dreams, or making important decisions because we're afraid of failing or being judged. But the truth is, action is the antidote to self-doubt. When we take action, even if it's small, we begin to prove to ourselves that we are capable, that we can handle challenges, and that we have what it takes to succeed. The more we push through our doubts and take steps toward our goals, the more our confidence grows. It's not about waiting until the doubt disappears, it's about moving forward, even in the presence of doubt, knowing that action will help us overcome it. One of the reasons why self-doubt can be so crippling is that it often keeps us stuck in the cycle of perfectionism. We feel that we need to have everything figured out, to be fully prepared, or to be flawless before we take the first step. But this perfectionistic mindset is a trap. Perfection is an illusion, and it often prevents us from taking meaningful action. We may avoid making decisions or starting projects because we fear making mistakes or falling short of expectations. But the reality is that mistakes and imperfections are a natural part of growth. Nobody starts out perfect, and nobody achieves success without stumbling along the way. The key to overcoming self-doubt is to accept that imperfection is not only okay, but it's often necessary for progress. When we embrace the idea that mistakes are a part of the learning process, we can let go of the need for perfection and focus on moving forward with courage, even when we don't have everything figured out. Another powerful way to overcome self-doubt is to surround ourselves with people who uplift and support us. It's easy to let self-doubt grow when we're constantly exposed to negativity or criticism, whether from others or from ourselves. The people we spend time with can have a profound impact on how we see ourselves. If we surround ourselves with people who encourage us, believe in our potential, and push us to be our best, we're more likely to overcome self-doubt and build confidence. On the other hand, if we're constantly around people who put us down, criticize us, or reinforce our insecurities, self-doubt can become even more entrenched. That's why it's important to choose our circle wisely. We need to seek out relationships that are positive, uplifting, and supportive people who remind us of our worth and help us see ourselves in a more empowering light. Self-doubt is often fueled by fear, the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of not measuring up. But the truth is that fear is a normal part of the human experience. It's a natural response to uncertainty and challenge. However, fear does not have to control us. In fact, fear can be a powerful motivator if we learn how to face it head on. When we confront our fears and take action despite them, we begin to prove to ourselves that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. Fear becomes less intimidating when we face it with courage and resilience. Instead of allowing fear to paralyze us, we can use it as a signal that we're pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone, that we're growing, and that we're on the path to something greater. One of the most effective ways to overcome self-doubt is to practice self-compassion. Often, we are our own harshest critics. We judge ourselves more harshly than we would ever judge others, and we hold ourselves to unrealistically high standards. But this negative self-talk only fuels self-doubt and keeps us stuck in a cycle of self-criticism. Instead of beating ourselves up for mistakes or shortcomings, we can learn to be kind to ourselves. We can practice speaking to ourselves with the same empathy, understanding, and encouragement that we would offer to a friend who is struggling. Self-compassion allows us to accept our imperfections, forgive ourselves for past mistakes, and move forward with a greater sense of peace and confidence. Overcoming self-doubt also requires us to take a step back and gain perspective. When we're deep in the throes of self-doubt, it's easy to become consumed by our fears and worries. We may magnify our perceived flaws, mistakes, or shortcomings and believe that they define us. But when we take a step back and look at the bigger picture, we often realize that our doubts are based on distorted thinking. We are not defined by our mistakes or our fears. We are defined by our actions, our resilience, and our ability to rise above challenges. Taking perspective allows us to detach from the negative thoughts that fuel self-doubt and refocus on what truly matters: our growth, our progress, and our potential. Ultimately, overcoming self-doubt is an ongoing process. It's not something that happens overnight, and it's not something we can entirely eliminate. But what we can do is learn to manage it, to acknowledge it without letting it control us, and to take action despite it. Every time we face self-doubt and push through it, we build our confidence and strengthen our belief in ourselves. It's not about never feeling doubt, but about learning how to move forward with courage and conviction, even when doubt is present. As we continue to challenge our negative beliefs, take risks, surround ourselves with support, and practice self-compassion, we begin to break free from the grip of self-doubt and step into our true power. The more we overcome self-doubt, the more we realize that we are capable of achieving anything we set our minds to. Discipline and commitment are two of the most critical factors in achieving success, yet they are often the most overlooked. These qualities are the foundation upon which all great achievements are built. While talent, intelligence, and creativity are undoubtedly valuable, it is discipline and commitment that separate those who achieve their goals from those who fall short. Without discipline, even the most talented person will struggle to reach their potential. And without commitment, even the most well-intentioned effort will lack the persistence required to see things through. The difference between success and failure often comes down to whether you are willing to stay disciplined in your actions and committed to your purpose, regardless of the obstacles or challenges that come your way. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's about maintaining focus on your goals and consistently taking the actions required to achieve them, day after day, even when it's difficult, uncomfortable, or tedious. Discipline is not just about willpower, it's about creating habits that align with your objectives, setting clear boundaries, and making decisions based on your long-term goals rather than short-term gratification. When you develop discipline, you build the mental and emotional strength to push through the resistance that often arises when you're working towards something that requires sustained effort. This resistance may come in the form of distractions, procrastination, self-doubt, fatigue, or even the temptation to quit when things get hard. Discipline is what allows you to stay focused, stay consistent, and stay on track when your emotions or circumstances try to pull you off course. Commitment, on the other hand, is the unwavering dedication to your goals, your vision, and your purpose. It's the willingness to stay engaged and persistent, even in the face of adversity or uncertainty. Commitment is what keeps you moving forward when you encounter setbacks, when progress seems slow, or when you feel like giving up. It's about making a decision to keep going, no matter how long it takes, no matter how many obstacles arise, and no matter how many times you fail. Commitment means that you are fully invested in your vision and that you are willing to make sacrifices, put in the hard work, and do whatever it takes to turn your dreams into reality. Without commitment, even the best laid plans and the strongest discipline will falter. Commitment is the fuel that keeps your discipline going, the driving force that propels you through the difficult times and helps you stay focused on the end goal. One of the challenges people face when it comes to discipline and commitment is that they often expect immediate results. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, it can be hard to stay disciplined and committed to a long-term goal that may take months, years, or even decades to achieve. Whether you are pursuing a career, starting a business, getting fit, or learning a new skill, success rarely happens overnight. The journey toward achieving anything worthwhile is often slow, and there are no shortcuts. It requires consistent effort, patience, and a willingness to keep moving forward even when progress seems minimal. Discipline and commitment help you stay the course when the results are not immediate, when success feels distant, and when doubt starts to creep in. They remind you that every small step you take, every day you stay on track, is building momentum toward your ultimate goal.